The Silver Sword, Chapter 21. Orders. The farmer was at the kitchen sink washing the morning's grime from his face. His wife was always complaining that he left most of it on the towel instead of in the water. On this occasion he was running true to form, for his eyebrows were still white and foamy with soap when he reached out to dry himself. The towel wasn't there. "Emma!" he shouted. "Will you never learn to put out a fresh towel when the soiled one goes to the wash? Emma!" He heard heavy footsteps in the room, and in an unexpectedly brief time a towel was slipped into his hands. "Thank you, my dear," he said. And when he'd wiped off all the soap and it was safe to open his eyes, he saw before him not his wife, but the burgomaster. "It was over the back of the chair," said the burgomaster, and he sat down on the edge of the kitchen table, which was his usual perch when he came on business. "I envy you your farm, Kurt." It was one of the days when the burgomaster was feeling sorry for himself. "It's so peaceful. Cows grazing, cocks crowing, sowing and reaping, the eternal rhythm of the seasons. You're down to the things that really matter. You can have my job any day, all kicks and no halfpence. The Americans curse me day and night, and when I pay a call on our own people, I know they'd cut my throat if they thought they could get away with it. I've come to requisition their houses, their furniture, their radios, their food, or—" "Get to the point, Mr. Burgomaster. You want something out of me. What is it?" "Another tiresome order. Nothing to do with me, of course. All Polish and Ukrainian refugees are to be sent home, and tomorrow is the final date allowed." "Oh, that's stale news. I lost the last of my refugees weeks ago, and you know it." "You're hiding Polish children here," said the burgomaster, and he told him about the previous day's adventure on the road. "Well, and if I am?" "They must go home, like the rest." "They don't want to. Their parents are in Switzerland, and they're going to find them." The burgomaster laughed. "I've heard that one before. Anyone in trouble at home always makes for the West, France or Switzerland. The Swiss are getting very choosy. Too many nasty pieces have been getting through. Political troublemakers, secret agents too. Even if we let these children go, and there's no chance of that, the Swiss wouldn't play, not without definite proof that one parent was alive and already in the country." "Emma!" the farmer called out. "Is Edek about the place?" Frau Wolf answered from upstairs. "He's out in the yard." "Will you tell him the burgomaster would like to meet him?" The farmer took the silver sword from the mantelpiece and showed it to the burgomaster. "Here's proof that their tale isn't moonshine," he said, and he told him the story of the sword. The burgomaster laughed. "Only a fool would accept that as proof," he said. "The mother's either dead by now or back in Poland, and there's not a chance in 1,000 that the father got through Germany alive." "I know he's alive," said Edek, who had just come in. "I know it in my heart." And he took the sword from the burgomaster and put it back on the mantelpiece. The burgomaster shook hands with him. "Thank you, Edek, for what you did for me yesterday. You have a generous spirit. I wish I could treat you as generously. Your German is faultless, and your accent quite deceived me. Where did you learn our language?" Edek told him of the months he had spent in Germany during the war. "How you must hate us," said the burgomaster. "I hate the Nazis who took mother and father away and blew up our home and destroyed our city, but all Germans aren't like that." "Were you in the fighting at Warsaw?" "Yes," said Edek. "I was in the Boys' Rifle Brigade. I joined when I was 12. And he thought of the night he had fired from his bedroom window when they took his mother away. "Some weeks ago, 2 of my villagers were shot by a Polish boy not much older than you. Like you, he had learned his job in the Boys' Rifle Brigade. He climbed through the bedroom window and shot these people while they slept. He had nothing against them. I don't think he even knew who they were. You understand why we have to be careful. There have been other cases too. Ever since the war ended, the woods have been the hiding place of refugees who loot mercilessly and murder for revenge. Of course, they're not all like that, but it is in everyone's interests that they should go home. The Americans are inflexible on this point, and I don't blame them." "Will he let us go, Edek?" said Ruth, who had come in with Bronya, Jan and Ludwig. "No," said Edek, and told them what the burgomaster had said. "A lorry will come for you tomorrow at 12 midday," said the burgomaster. "I shall expect you to be ready. Out of friendship, I warn you not to try to escape. There is only the one road, as you know, and it's guarded by patrol posts. The woods are patrolled too, and the Americans may shoot at sight." Ruth, who had followed the gist of this, began to plead with him in Polish. She told Edek to beg him to take their case direct to the Americans. "Quite hopeless," said the burgomaster wearily. "It has been tried many times, with no success. The only thing they would consider is a pass from the Swiss authorities, and that is out of the question." "Well, in 24 hours, yes," said the farmer, "but it might be obtained if you would grant them longer." "The time limit has been fixed, and not by me," said the burgomaster curtly. "Goodbye." He bowed stiffly and went. Ludwig, who was no fonder of the burgomaster than anybody else, was growling and barking, and Jan clung on to his collar. "Shall I let him go, Ruth? I'd love to see him bite a hole in the seat of the burgomaster's trousers and his shirt-tail hanging out." Ruth slipped her hand into Ludwig's collar. She did not let go till she heard the jeep's engine start up. In a cloud of dust, the jeep sped off down the farm track toward the main road, with Ludwig an inch or two behind, and the hills all around echoed his indignant barking.